Right, hello guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, as you can see, it is Season 2. Yes, finally here, Modern Warfare 3 Season 2. As you can see, we've already got Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead here in Season 2 as a playable character. I've actually updated the game quick enough to actually be even on the game before some of the events already. But today, we're going to be covering the best Modern Warfare 3 controller settings to use in Season 2 of Modern Warfare 3. And the reason I'm doing this is because I saw in the aim set, well, my aim assist video, some of you guys were saying that aim assist is not overpowered in Modern Warfare 3. And I have the feeling, and I'm going to say this, I think some of you guys might not be using the settings correctly because aim assist is 100% overpowered if you use the correct settings. And I'm going to show you that today, guys. I'm going to show you how to make the best controller settings here in Modern Warfare 3 in Season 2. So here it is, okay? These settings have changed from the last video I made, and we're going to go through them each today. So again, just covering the controller settings today, you know, graphics and stuff, but I am on Xbox Series X as well, but these settings will work on PlayStation controllers, of course. If you're using a PlayStation or Xbox controller on PC, it will work. I just won't have any PC graphic settings for you guys. But let's get into it. So let's start with the controller, of course. So as you can see, using the controller button layout, I use tactical. This is personal preference here, but I personally believe using the B to melee and having your stance, so you're sliding, you're diving and stuff, being on the stick is a lot better, just because you're not taking your thumb off of the thumbstick when you're trying to shoot and stuff. At the same time, you can, you know, do some slide cancels and stuff like that. It's a lot better. I personally feel like you should play on tactical. Next up, Bump King, got that off, flipped off, stick layout preset, that should be default for everyone. Controller vibration, I will specify this now. Do not have this on. You don't want the controller shaking about your hands whilst you're trying to aim and shoot and stuff. So I personally have this off, and I think everyone should have this off. If you do use it, you know, for that immersive experience, at the end of the day, you just have the controller moving around your hand. You don't need it on, so do not have that on. Next up, this is an important one and very important. If you have not changed this, I'd advise changing this now because I believe the default is 1010, and that's quite a lot of delay. What you need to do is change your deadzone inputs. Now, for me, I have a pretty standard new controller. I do actually use an Xbox Elite Series core controller. I've also used the Xbox Elite Series 2, which I will do a video about for Season 2, so stay tuned for that, but I won't be covering that in today's video. But bear in mind, I am using a controller that does, you know, make use of paddles and stuff like that, and trigger stops. But on this stick, I do have the left stick at min 2, just because I don't have any stick drift to, you know, too much stick drift on that. Next up, I have the left stick on max 99, just leave that as default. Right stick min, I've left on 5. Now, I could probably use this at 2, but I know for a fact if you use a right stick, you know, like you do in Call of Duty, you're using the right stick quite a lot, you're going to eventually develop some stick drift at the, you know, those ranges of 2 to 3 to 4. So I've got it set to 5 so that when that stick drift does come in, it's not as going to be effective. Like, I will still be used to the aim feeling that I have playing on a right stick min of 5. And I feel like this is the default everyone should do. I don't feel like you should start on a 2 just because you will develop stick drift at some point and then you'll have to increase that and it will change your aim a little bit. So definitely have this on 5. Left trigger and right trigger, you want these at 0 because that means as soon as you press the trigger, that is it. Your press is considered and you will be shooting or aiming, whichever one you're pressing, and of course both at the same time if you are aiming and shooting at the same time. So yeah, that covers that bit. Next up, we're going to go to aiming. This one's important, okay? This is a lot of important, and this has the secret sauce, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but horizontal and vertical, I use 5.5. I believe the range is personally between 5 and 8. That's what you should be using. You can play 20-20 if you're one of those crazy people, if you are comfortable with your shots. But I personally believe anywhere between 5 and 8 is what you should be going with. That's what I go with. And then I know some people will mess around with this. I personally don't mess around with this. I think the standard is just way better. So go with 5.5 is my personal preference. But you can play between 5 and 8 is what I recommend. ADS sensitivity multiplier, some people mess with this. I personally keep it 1. Sensitivity multiplier, all those on 1. Vertical aim axis, leave this alone, do not touch. Tactical stance sensitive multiplier, this does not matter. I don't actually use tactical stance, and you'll see that with my settings. This is important, so bear with me. I will talk about this. Aim response curve type, and not only that, the aim response curve slope scale. That is also important. So, aim response curve type, by now, most of you should be using either dynamic or standard. However, linear is pretty decent too. You can use linear, but either one of these is basically personal preference, but dynamic is the go-to. It's used by the pros. It's used by most people. It's the best of both worlds. You can react quickly and you can make, you know, there's minor adjustments at longer ranges. It just does both. You can do the close range, the long range, and the medium range perfectly with dynamic. It is the best option when it comes to aim response curve type. But the next part, And this is the part that makes it overpowered. Change your aim response curve slope scale, okay? You guys have got to like find out what works best for you. But if you want a good base guide, anywhere between 0.60 and 0.80 is what I believe makes it the best. I personally go with 0.70. You could probably even tell the difference in my gameplays from the start of Season 1 to the end of Season 1, the difference in my aim. It was night and day. This setting is important. You can keep it at 1 if you are comfortable with 1, but anywhere between 0.60 and 0.80, definitely give it a shot. Definitely go into custom games and try this out. This is an amazing, amazing thing, and I can't explain it enough, but it changes, of course, the curve, you know, and how it reacts. But it is better between 0.60 and 0.80. It is so much better to aim with having it on this. So me, I have it on 0.70, and you guys, I feel, should have it on 0.70 as well. But give it a shot, go into custom games, and you'll thank me later for how good that setting is. Next up, ADS multiplier, leave it on 1. Transition timing, you want that on instant, so you can feel your sensitivity instantly. Custom sensitivity zoom, you can do this if you're one of those people who snipes on those higher zooms and change this. I personally don't, I have this on off. Aim assist, have it on, don't have it off. I know some of you like to be crazy and say that, you know, the game's much better when you have the aim assist off and it's actually, you know, I shoot better. Trust me, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Turn that aim assist on, do not turn it off. Next up, this is a pick between the two, okay? Default or Black Ops. I go with Black Ops. Pairing Black Ops with the aim response curve type dynamic and changing your curve slope is the best way to get the best benefit of aim assist. And I know some mouse and keyboard players are going to hate me saying that, but it is the best way to make aim assist super overpowered. So aim response curve type dynamic, change the slope scale to between 0.60 and 0.80, and then change your aim assist type to Black Ops. Thank me later, you'll understand why I say aim assist is overpowered in Modern Warfare 3 with those settings combined together. Next up, third-person ADS correction type. Doesn't really matter. I don't really play any game modes with third-person types anyway. Next up, automatic sprint. This is a personal preference one. I personally like it off. I really don't like using automatic tactical sprint. It's just not favorable to me. Plus, I could slide cancel pretty well anyway without it. You can have this on if you really want to. It would probably save your controller in the long run as well, not having to, you know, do this tactical sprint yourself. But I personally have it off. It just doesn't suit me. But you can have this on automatic tactical sprint or off. Is probably the best of the two, or of the three options that you have there. Sprint tactical, sprint behavior, toggle, auto mode forward is off. Single tap run, you want that on. This will save your control in the long run again. You won't be bashing the stick a lot and you won't develop stick drift because of this. So definitely have single tap run on. Grounded mantle, all this stuff, all of these mantle options, have all of them off so that you're not accidentally mantling. This does not mean that you can't mantle. You've just got to be aware that you're going to have to, you know, actually go up to the thing that you want to get to and, you know, press A to mantle that object, of course. But you won't be accidentally mantling when you're doing jump shots in the middle of gunfights. Slide and dive behavior, tap to slide. You can have this to just slide only or, you know, a hybrid, which I don't need really. But I'd recommend either tap to slide or slide only. Diving's not really useful in this game at all. Next up, plunging underwater is trigger. Parachute automatic behavior is free fall. Sprinting door bash on. Of course, you want to sprint through the doors. Ledge climbing behavior, mantle only. Aim down sight behavior is hold. Change zoom activation, yeah. Equipment behavior, hold. Weapon mount activation. I have this set to ADS plus melee so that I don't accidentally weapon mount. Don't find weapon mounting to be very good in this game. I think that's because of the movement being a bit quicker and, you know, the slide cancelling stuff. Don't find it to be a very useful option, so I personally have it on ADS for melee. Again, you don't want to be accidentally using this. But if you guys want to, you know, make sure that you can still do it, because you can have it on off as well if you really want to, but I still think you should have the option there if you really need to. Weapon mount exit delay, again, if you are doing it, want an instance that you're getting out of that as quick as possible. Tactical stance activation, again, you want this because obviously there's camo challenges, but it is not that useful in this game. I don't find any reason to use this outside of the normal hip fire. It doesn't seem to be that beneficial. It's not really that great. But ADS plus down button, just so it's there, just so I can complete camo challenges when I need to. Tactical stance behavior on toggle. Tap to reload. Apply all. ADS stick swap, have that one off, unless you really want to. I know some of you guys have been saying that you do actually like switch them around, which is up to you. I find that a little bit crazy, but if that's what you guys want to do. Backpack control, D-pad, depleted ammo switch, of course. Quick C4 detonation, I've done one by one. Manual fire behind press. Akimbo behavior, independent. Short delay, free look, melee, short, and hold. That's all that for that. Keyboard and mouse we're going to be skipping over because, of course, this is a controller settings video. Graphics. Now, these are important because these aren't going to affect well, some of this is going to affect your aim, but a lot of this is also going to affect your, your lag and your connection and stuff, such as this on-demand texture streaming. Have this off. It does not improve your textures and that by a great deal, and it's just going to cause you yourself to lag, especially if you don't have good internet. If you know you don't have the greatest internet speeds in the world, you will want this off. This will massively hinder your experience and make you lag during the game. So do not have this on whatsoever. I have great internet and I still have this off, so definitely do not have it on. All of these options, off, off, 0. And we'll get to that in a minute. And depth of field off. Why? Because as you can see, all of these options when on or set to max make the game more blurry. It makes it harder to spot enemies. You do not need this. You want to be spotting people nice and clear and have the clearest possible vision. And setting these to off and 0 and off again is going to make it very, very clear the image that you need, and obviously be able to spot enemies when they're hiding in those dark corners and stuff. We know people like to do that. Fidelity CAS, have this on, set it to 100. You can have it around 80 to 100, but I personally like 100. It makes the game a lot more crystal clear. Like I said, it's a sharpening technique, and it makes the game a lot more visible. People are very easy to spot from those far distances. Eco mode preset, I set to off. Yes, it could probably save your console's energy consumption. I just don't trust this to make my performance of my game not be as good as it should be, so I've got this off for that reason. If you can, 120 Hz refresh rate, which is of course being able to play at 120 FPS, you do want this on. You want to be able to play at 120 FPS if you can. If you can't, try and invest in a monitor that can, because the difference between 120 FPS and 60 FPS is huge. You will feel it night and day, how more responsive things are, how much better it is to aim, just everything about it. Next up, this will massively affect your aim. Make sure you're getting this correct, but anywhere between 95 and 105 is what I'd recommend. But I use 102, affected, and wide. Wide is another big part about making the aim assist overpowered in this game. I don't know what it is with the wide weapon field of view compared to default and narrow, but it makes aim assist feel stronger, and you want that, because the aim assist being stronger, of course, is going to make it harder for you to miss shots, essentially, with how strong the aim assist is. So definitely have this on wide, affected, and then between 95 and 105, that's going to be personal preference, depending on whether you're a quick player who likes rushing in, or someone who plays a little bit more in the distance and likes to pick people off and that. That's going to be personal preference. But again, 102 affected and wide is what I use. Third person field of view does not matter. Do not use it. This, you want this on least. I know I've got it on the third person as well, but you want this on least. You want the camera shaking to be as least as possible, so that you can stay on target and not have your gun shaking everywhere and everything. You want it on as least as possible. Unfortunately, you can't go to 0%, but have it on 50% at the very least. This is personal preference. I have inverted flashbang on. First person ADS, game perspective. Brightness, again, this is going to depend on your monitors and that, but I have it on 47. And then safe area, this one's important. Change it to as minimum as possible. I think some of you might actually set this to the maximum. Set it to minimum as possible, as you'll get the mini-map closer to the center of the screen. Because obviously we have red dots in this game, thank the Lord. But we can, you have the mini-map closer to the center of the screen, which means you won't have to take your eyes off of, your weapon and what you're looking at to be able to look at the mini-map. That's why I do that. And I think you guys should do that too, is make sure your safe area is set to minimum as possible. Next up, audio. Not too important in this game, okay? But I do use headphone bass boost, master's gain volume here, and then I've got these settings here, which if you want to copy down, 0, 30, 100, 0, and 100. I don't really sound all that often in this game. It's not the be-all, end-all in this game. Too many people use dead silence anyway, and it's not like Modern Warfare 2, where it was really important to sound all. It was the crutch of the game, really. In this game, if you're running dead silence, just expect other people to be using dead silence. And if people aren't using dead silence, then you'll probably hear them anyway, regardless of what audio setting you're using. This is obviously just for voice chat, but, last words voice chat. You want to hear if the person's raging when you kill them, of course. None of this really matters. Default mono audio. Mono audio can be useful, actually, if you're one of those people who likes to have both left and right sound coming out the same. Reduced tinnitus sound. That's all of that, really. Finally, we've got the interface. Nothing really too amazing here. Besides this, color customization. Make sure you got these as to bright, nice colors so you can see, enemy gamer tags and stuff. Sometimes you get lucky and you can see them through the wall. Contest points, make sure they're nice and visible so you can see. And squad member colors, it's up to you guys. I don't really play with anyone in this game too much, so it doesn't really matter to me. Filter 2 is what I use. That seems to get the best brightness and best contrast for me. And then I set them to 100 to 100. It seems to get the best colors for me. And again, you guys can see from the gameplays that I'm putting up that the gameplay speaks for itself, that you know, the game is very bright looking. I can see everything, and everything just looks so clean. Minimap on square, as you can see, the square minimap has more coverage than the circle minimap. No reason to not be using that. Minimap rotation on, so you know which way you're facing. Horizontal compass, don't really bother with the compass, doesn't do anything for me. Crosshairs I have on, and then I have the center dot on. That is very useful for getting onto target and making sure you keep your crosshairs on target and where you need them to be. Hit marker visuals I have them on. Obviously, you want to know whether you're actually hitting the target. Full name, again, sometimes you can see it through a wall, so it's very useful. And then server latency and packet loss, so you know whether you're lagging or not on a specific server. But other than that, that is everything. That is everything you need to be successful in Modern Warfare 3 in Season 2 when using controller, whether it be on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, using a PlayStation or Xbox controller, or any other brand of controller that you may be using. Those are the best settings. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, notifications on. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.